What's going on, guys? Rob from the Razor's Edge here. Doing a quick honing video. Well, maybe not quick, but we'll find out. But I wanted to talk about a couple different things. First thing I want to do is bring my Arkansas over here. Now, this side is burnished. This side I flattened with silicon carbide grit and finished it off with a aluminum oxide polish, and this side burnished. Now, I've brought up a couple times in other videos on this burnished side. There was something I wanted to mention, and now's the time to mention it. So when I was burnishing this, I bought a brand new chisel, and when I started burnishing with that chisel, I started noticing little metal burrs embedding into the surface of this arc. Now, I noticed it, and I ended up more or less wearing the chisel in just a little bit. Then I took my 1200 Atoma, flattened this thing back out, and started over. And all of a sudden I noticed that the little metal filings from the chisel, probably from the milling process, were no longer there. So I was able to finish the process, not have any metal pieces in there, little metal shards from the chisel, and that's mainly what I wanted to mention when it came to this Arkansas. If you're going to burnish, some people like it, some people don't. I like having both sides so that I have a burnished side and unburnished side, and now I have a dual stone. So in a nutshell, that was the big thing that I needed to talk about as far as the arc. Now, onto today's video. I have the pleasure today of using a brand new Les Lat, and I just got this. I also got an LPB, which is this stone right here. So I now have 3 different cauticles, and I thoroughly am enjoying all of them. This is my original. I believe this is called a La Vignette, and also another beautiful caudicle with a Belgian blue on one side, Belgian yellow on the other. The LPB, same thing, yellow on one side, blue on the other. And this Les Lat, let me just unscrew it here for you and show you the other side, because this hybrid side is just a beautiful, beautiful finisher. I would have to say that with, soap and oil passes, you can easily get this thing up to 12, 16K, no problem, with this side of the stone. This side of the stone, the other side, this right here, the yellow side would be mainly garnet, and this side is chlorite and quartz. So it's a very interesting stone. Super happy I got my hands on it, and from what I hear, it's fairly rare. So now that we covered the basics, I just want to show you the knife that I'm sharpening up today. I did an unboxing on this. This right here is Trevor's Woolfblade, one of them. It's got a French tip on it, super, super nice, and I've really been enjoying honing this thing today, because I did off camera straighten out my bevel the way I like it, and I don't like to do that on camera because for me that's a lengthy process. I'm very slow about it, methodical. I like to make sure that I get the bevel exactly how I want it before I continue, because it really, really sets you up for a successful honing if you get your bevel right. So I take my time with that, and I usually do the bulk of that off camera. So at this point, I'm at the stage where I'm building a decent slurry here, and what I'm going to do is start to hone the knife and the edge of this thing and start to work that apex into a nice, fine, keen edge. But I'm at a point where I can pretty much just slowly work this slurry down and water it down to the point where it's slowly honing that knife sharper and sharper before I do water passes. So I'll be doing 100 water passes once I've worked the slurry down. And then I'll be flipping to the other side, the hybrid side of the stone, and finishing with some soap and then some oil. So for me, I'm just getting to the good stuff. After talking to Eric and Sean Staplefeld and Eric the Cajun Blade, these guys have been starting to, enlighten me when it comes to cauticles and just simple procedure and making it so that you do as little work and get the best result. So it's kind of like a formula for setting your bevel. And obviously it's going to vary because this particular blade, for example, I believe it's a more hardened steel, kind of like a stainless, that Trevor uses over at Woolfblades. I can't remember the exact type of steel that this is, but I can tell you right now, regular carbon steel on the bulk of my razors, they hone up quicker, but I don't think they're going to hold an edge quite as long as this one will. So when I'm honing a knife that has a hard edge the way this one does, and a couple of other my blades do, I really like to go through the process and take my time and get it right, because these harder steels can take a little longer to hone up, in my opinion. So I'm going to start to run through my progression now and bring this blade to a finer and finer slurry before I rinse off and go into my water passes. I can already feel the blade getting kind of glassy, even though there's some slurry. It has a smooth feel to it. I look for super glassy when I get to the finished stages on the other side of the stone, or if I'm doing my arc. So I've been kind of playing around with just getting a cortical edge off of this stone, because the other side of this thing it gives you a nice fine finish, and that's what we're looking for. So we're just going to start the dilution process. Really been looking forward to putting my own edge on this knife and giving it a whirl. I'm dying to shave. I got at least 4 days of growth, and I'm definitely due. But I want to use this knife, so I gotta get it nice and sharp first. Technically, I should be counting these passes, but kind of doing it by feel. I will say, every time that I hone a Damascus knife, must be because of the two different, colors and the layers, but the swarth gets gray pretty quick. Even if I'm doing a super light touch, I mean, it You know, it's just a very fine material coming off, but it always goes gray pretty quick. So I'm starting to feel a little sticky. So I'm just gonna rinse the blade, dilute it just a bit more, and keep going. The edge that this came with from Trevor was super keen, and I just knew that if I put my edge on it, that I'm just used to, I'm comfortable with it. So putting that edge on this for me is it's kind of exciting. I've been kind of looking forward to it. I've been working a lot this week. Well, between last week and this week, lots of long hours. And I've been looking forward to getting this blade the way I like it so that I can shave with it. So I've had to be patient this week. You guys can see how dark that swarth is getting. So I think we're actually personally at a point where I just want to rinse this puppy off, get rid of all that metal that's mixed into that slurry. And I'm actually going to do just a nice fine, just build up a nice fine slurry on here. And I've been using the stone very lightly at first to kind of push some of that water off. That way I'm not losing all my slurry as it runs down the side of the stone. Just want to thank Eric and Sean for giving me a first-class education in how they hone, the different stones that they use, and Eric is like just a wealth of knowledge. They both sent me videos, articles, you know, all different stuff. Like I was using my diamond plate to lap these cauticles, not realizing afterwards that I was using the slurry from the diamond plate, that's actually really not good for the blade, because the diamond plate will basically tear off the top surface of the cauticle in a jagged pattern. But if you rinse that slurry off after you flatten the stone, you should just be using a small little slurry stone like this one just to build up a nice smooth slurry that has more of a granular, round, you know, look to it. When I saw the pictures under the microscope on one of the articles that Sean sent me, I was kind of shocked. So I've stopped doing that on cauticles. I want to water this down a little more. But I stopped doing that on cauticles. I got to a point where I might have gone a little backwards here, putting a little too much slurry on here, but that's okay. I'll break it down quick and just continue the process. Yeah, ever since I saw those microscopic pictures of what the diamond plate does to a cauticle when you lap it, and what a simple slurry from a slurry stone looks like, it looks like two completely different things. So that was actually really cool. Cool thing that Sean sent me. You know, just send me just a little bit further into the journey, you know, with a little more knowledge, which is always the goal, you know. The more knowledge, the better. Sorry, the camera's right next to the stone here. I just kind of slapped it. The all the videos that Eric sent me in the last couple days, I haven't had time to watch half of them. I've been so busy, but I was able to watch enough and read enough between Sean and Eric and the stuff that they sent me to where I just hope I'm doing this the way that they would. So I think I'm getting close here to my final few laps before I go into water passes. And you can see that I've kind of worked that slurry down to a light milky color where I can see through it and see the stone. The edge of this is feeling really nice. Another thing I've noticed when you're doing the heavier work, you really got to keep checking your tape if you use tape, because if it starts to tear, next thing you know, it'll lift the heel up in that area where it tears, and it'll start to change things that you don't want changing. So that's one thing that I've noticed I always do. Alright, so we're just going to do some water passes, so I'll be counting silently, so if I don't talk much during this, you'll know why. When I get to these passes, I'm really not giving it much pressure. I mean, just enough to make sure that it stays connected with the stone out to the apex, but that's about it. I'm not looking to kill this thing. My little Boker 4/8 is gonna need a touch up, and I'm gonna try out that LPB with that and see what that conical feels like, because I haven't even played with it yet. I've been kind of obsessed with this particular stone since I got it a few days ago. I did all my practice on my little Barbarossa Got that thing ridiculously sharp on this stone. I might actually use that as my edger in my video later on, and then after my shave tonight, I'm probably gonna switch over to my LPB and play around with that little Boker abalone 4/8 and just get it nice and sharp. And then I'll probably bring it to the other side of the stone, but I really want to feel that LPB because it's supposed to be a little harder than this yellow side. It's supposed to be rinsing every 20 passes. Oops. Sorry, Erica. Oh yeah. I can see why you rinse every 20 laps, Eric. You can feel the difference. My favorite is when I get to go to the soap passes and the oil passes, because you can really feel every little thing, and it doesn't really stick in the same way that it does when you're just on water. I was talking to Sean Staplefeld the other day, and he's going to send me a set of these basically convex stones so I can give it a whirl. He basically convexed out some synthetic Ninawa stones for me, and I'm gonna try them out, see how I like a convex honing, you know. One more new thing I've never tried, and I'd really like to. You can just feel that instantly go glassy. I feel like I know I'm getting to the point where it's time to move on to the next stage, when I feel that apex almost wanting to bite into the stone when I'm barely putting any pressure. It has like a almost magnetic feel to it. If I'm being honest, I lost count, so I'm just gonna keep going until it feels just shy of glass, and then I'm gonna go to soap passes on the other side of the stone. Really enjoying this Les Lat. It's a fun stone, you know. This side cuts fairly quick. Maybe not so much on this particular steel, because it's a pretty hard steel, but it should hold an edge for quite a while. So And at this stage it starts polishing up that edge, and as I get to probably about 50-60 passes on this thing, all of a sudden that edge just starts looking, you know, somewhat mirror-like. And like Sean says, I'm also watching my undercut and trying to get that perfect squeegee action, you know, all the way across the stone on both sides. See it happening perfectly right now on one side, and the other side it's close. So I'll just keep working these water passes as long as I need to. Now, one thing I've learned about honing so far, because I've honed a pretty decent amount of blades at this point, is that however long it takes is however long it takes, you know, to get the result you're looking for. All the different types of steels, they all hone just a little differently, you know. So finding your patience is very important. Not getting frustrated. Definitely don't give up. That's not in the cards. Before I even go any further, I'm just going to give this a little test. I was playing around with the Barbarossa. When I got to the end of these 100 passes, I was able to pass HHT. And I'm hearing I was just doing that now, I was just testing. And I could hear it ringing off the blade, but not cutting it yet. So, I mean, I've learned at this point with this method that Eric showed me, that when you're done with your main bevel set, you know, you're not cleaning up the bevel, but just setting the bevel. Using a packing peanut and making sure that it very easily pushes into, not slices, but pushes into the packing peanut. That's mainly what I'm looking for on my bevel set. And that's thanks to Eric, because Eric showed me that. I wasn't doing any of those tests till the very end, you know, the packing peanut, the hair. I was just checking my bevel set on a tomato, which that works. It's been working for me anyways. But I know that after these water passes, I like to at least be able to pass an HHT to some degree. I think I'm just about there, guys. I know it's a lengthy process, but I just want to show you guys what I've been experiencing on this stone, because I feel lucky to have gotten it. Oh yeah, she's starting to stick, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip to the other side. Go to that hybrid side with all that quartz. Looks like a coffee milk. Very cool looking. Really enjoy this side of the stone. So that's my dog playing in the background. One of my dogs. Oh man, it's like the softest, glassiest feeling. It almost feels like my Thuringian, that soft slate feel, but it's just a little different. It's harder than that. It's hard like the Arc, but soft like the Thuringian. I think that's the best way to explain it. And it just, I mean, within 3 passes, it's already feeling glassy. And it's starting to polish that edge, and it's actually already starting to stick a little bit. If you can believe it. At this point, I'm pretty much, there is 0 pressure. I mean, I'm just guiding the blade and letting the weight of the blade do the work. Letting the stone do the work. I absolutely love the feeling that you get, the smooth textile kind of glide over this side of the stone. It's just really nice. And it's definitely starting to shine that edge up. Give it a good polish. When I start to get towards the finish steps with a new blade, I get more and more excited about shaving with it. It's kind of funny how that works. So I now have 2 different ways to put my finish edge. You know, and get to anywhere between 12 and 20K. It's nice to have, even if it's a hybrid, a conical hybrid side that I can get a finish on. I got that Arc, and at some point I want to get a nice J-Nat with some nice slurry stones, so I can put all 3 types of edges. And I know there's other stones out there. Maybe I'll slowly explore them all, but for now, I'm starting with the 3 main ones that I've seen people use the most. Give me 1 second, guys. I want to see if this is passing any tests. I already know it's going through a tomato. I already know it's going into packing peanuts, no problem. But before I strop, I like to try to get it to a point where it's passing some sort of HHT. definitely starting to, but it's not pinging yet, as I would say. I was also pleasantly surprised when I taped this edge, the spine, and started honing, or setting my bevel, that my bevel was laying right on top of Trevor's. So it's not like I had to make a lot of adjustment as far as, tape, no tape, 2 layers, 1 layer, none of that. I've never used 2 layers anyways. I always do 1 layer of tape. I like to protect my spine. I don't like to get wear marks all over it. That's just me. And I like the feel of a blade that has a layer of tape. I've tried both ways, and I have no problem with a layer of tape. So. I'm sorry, but I can't stop staring at this stone. It's so pretty. All right, let's actually check this one more time. Definitely starting to cut, but it's not pinging the way I like. So we're gonna switch over, just for the hell of it, to oil, and do some more oil passes, because I know we're getting really close to being finished. So I'll be able to strop this thing out. That thing will be making hairs fly. So. You guys might be able to hear that already suction cupping to the stone, but there's oil there causing that suction cup effect. As I can see, my undercut is pretty damn smooth all the way across. So these are basically just finished passes, and then I should be able to strop this thing out and get a really, really nice shave. everyone's having a good week so far. I got lucky. It rained today, so I don't have to worry about shrinking boats. I get to enjoy a day off, which is always nice. I don't think it had rained all season until last week. So me and my team have been going pretty hard, trying to keep up with all the boats coming out of the water, get them all shrink wrapped in a timely manner. We basically try to get them all done for January 1st. Man, this blade is starting to feel like glass. I should be counting all my passes, but I'm just going by feel right now. I've been counting on some of these steps, but in this finished stage, I'm looking for that constant snap at the end where it suction cups. Yeah, it's already starting to do it. It's actually been doing it, but I'm gonna do some reverse passes. And it's just completely undercutting. I mean, it's just dragging the oil. All right. Pretty much gonna get all this cleaned up and throw some strops on this puppy. Probably a good 100 for a total of 200. And set up and get shaving with this thing. I'm super excited. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Hopefully I got this thing lightsaber sharp, and may the swarth be with you. Have a good one. Take care, guys.